Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking the hottest sunscreens of 2022. Those products that have gone viral and received ridiculous amounts of hype in the past summer. Now, I think 2022, we've seen an explosion of new sunscreen products hitting the market. I know the temptation as humans is always to try the new product, particularly if it's getting a lot of hype and talk online. However, do any of these new viral sunscreens actually live up to expectations, and do they deserve a place in our skincare routine? We're going to break it apart and discuss all of them in today's video. So sit back, relax, and let's talk the hottest sunscreens of 2022. Now, before we get into this video, just a quick and gentle reminder to do all that YouTubey stuff if you haven't already. You could reach out and give this video a big thumbs up and a like. There's a little thing called the YouTube algorithm that whirs on in the background. The more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So it's just a wonderful way of supporting me as a content creator. I personally don't measure my worth and value in life based on the number of likes I get, because that definitely wouldn't be healthy. But unfortunately, YouTube still does, and until that changes, we kind of have to play the algorithm game. So I'm always so grateful for each and every one of you that takes that small moment out of your day to like the videos I create here on the channel. I've got quite a lot to say, because like I said, there is an awful lot of sunscreen launches in the past 12 months, so let's just cut that waffle and delve straight on in. Now, to kick things off, I think when we think viral sunscreen 2022, one product sticks in the forefront of my mind, and it's this. This is the roche-posay anthelios uvmune 400. Now, it does come in various different forms and different finishes on the skin, so bear that in mind and choose the one that's going to best suit your individual skin type. But I picked up this one maybe like 6 months ago because I was really keen to put it through its paces. The formulation in here is to die for, so the brand claims it has the very broadest spectrum, particularly UVA protection on the market. That's definitely the case when you look at the studies and the different wavelengths of light and the technology that they've employed in here, alongside some innovative new UV filters. I'm all about that. I love to see some good developments in sunscreen, and I was really keen to try it. Worked really well for me. It kind of works best, I think, on an oily, acne-prone skin type because it doesn't really clog the pores or break you out in my experience, and it doesn't leave that really greasy finish to the skin. However, the big drawback is look at the size of this. I mean, it's like a tiny doll's house size sunscreen. Now, it's actually 50 mils, and a lot of Korean sunscreens come in 50 mils. Some of the products I'm going to come on to in a minute do, but I think somehow the packaging makes this look ridiculously small. I got quite a big head, so I need a lot of sunscreen to cover this face. And so I didn't get a whole lot of applications out of this, which was a shame, because I paid £18 for this. That's thinking £18 for that size of product. I think this is slightly cheaper on the continent in mainland Europe, where I think it retails for something like €14. Depends very much where you live as to how much it'll cost. So bear that in mind. But for me, yes, the formulation is like A+ and worthy of all the hype, but that price point, I think it's just a bit prohibitive, and I found myself applying so little of it because I wanted to stretch its lifespan. That's not the right way to approach sunscreen. So from that perspective, it wasn't the best. And I'm going to give this 8 out of 10. Would be 10 out of 10 for the formulation, but that price point drags it down. In terms of how it applies, like I say, there are different versions which have, different finishes on the skin. This one is quite liquidy, which honestly, I don't mind. It's super lightweight. It sinks in without a trace. I didn't get any ashiness on the skin. And I'd say it's not deadpan matte to the, it almost looks chalky. Not at all, but it's definitely not glossy and dewy. So it's kind of that nice sweet spot in the middle. I think worthy of the hype for the formulation for that price point and the size, a little bit on the ridiculous side. Now, a product that got just about every single influencer fangirling here on YouTube was this. This is the isntree hyaluronic acid watery sun gel. Now, I don't think this is technically a new launch for the last year. I think this has been around a couple of years, but it definitely exploded in popularity in the last 12 months. It's a really nice product, and I think the only reason I don't fangirl about it as much as, say, like Cassandra Bankson or some of the other content creators is because my skin doesn't deal that well with a lot of hyaluronic acid. I find the more hyaluronic acid I use, the more likely I am to suffer that redness, peeling, irritation. It actually dehydrates my skin. If that's been your experience with hyaluronic acid, let me know in the comment section below, but I think this is an ingredient that interacts differently with different people's skin types. It's a gorgeous finish on the skin. It's definitely on the hydrating side, which I like. I think because of some of the ingredients in that anthelios one I just mentioned, it could be a little bit drying. This, not the opposite. Super hydrating. And I think if your skin can tolerate hyaluronic acid well, this is a really nice product. It doesn't have any noticeable scent to it, which I personally enjoy. I don't like things that smell too chemically or too artificially fragranced. And it does leave behind a really, really nice finish on the skin. I'd say slightly more dewy than the La Roche-Posay one. But you know what? I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I'm knocking a point off because it's not going to work for people that are very sensitive to hyaluronic acid. But for everyone else, this could be a really, really good go-to. And I think I paid like £7 for this. So it is really affordable for the 50ml that you get. So yeah, that one I think is worthy of the hype. Now, keeping with the Korean sunscreens, I think a brand that really launched themselves into the public consciousness with their sunscreens was Make Prem. Now, I've been enjoying Make Prem sunscreens for like 3 years, so they certainly weren't new to me, but they've launched quite a new range of different formulations, different finishes on the skin, and different levels of hydration. And I think this has really helped to increase the popularity of the Make Prem sunscreens in general, and so I'm not surprised that they're getting a lot of hype at the moment. The one that people seem to mention the most is this. This is the Make Prem Light and Refreshing Sun Essence with Full Moisture. That's a ridiculously long title, and I do always read Make Prem just a little bit for having basically the same packaging for every single one of their sunscreens. It's really impossible, especially if you're shopping online, to know what you're actually buying. Are you getting the mineral one, the hybrid one, the chemical one, the moisturising one? You can't really tell because they're all in exactly the same packaging, which is a bit frustrating. This one is a chemical one. It is tried, tested, and independently verified, which I like to see, and they release the data around that. And I'd say it is more on the hydrating side. This says full moisture, so maybe I was expecting a little bit more. I'm someone that's super oily, so I like to use my sunscreen as a moisturiser and sun protection in one, and I don't think this was quite hydrating enough to really deliver that. It glides onto the skin. It's a bit thicker than the Anthelios and that isntree one, but again, not bad if you're expecting a little bit more hydration from it. There's again no noticeable scent though. It does have some plant extracts in here which give it a vaguely almost distant fruity vibe to it, which, you know what, isn't unpleasant. In terms of how it applies onto the skin, it's very similar to that isntree, bordering on the dewy but certainly not greasy in any single way. I think this is the one that gets all the hype, and I say this because, like I say, I can't tell the difference between various different Make Prem when people are waving it about in videos. I have linked this one in the description box below, as I will for all of the other products if you did want like a shortcut to where you can buy them or want to read the reviews or ingredients in more detail. But I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it is really, really good, but I expected just a little bit more hydration than maybe it delivered. Now, should we talk ultraviolet sunscreens? Now, I think to say that these were a revelation in 2022 would be an understatement. I know the packaging is ridiculously eye-catching. It makes you want to reach for it and buy it, and the brand have done the very best job of selling this. I think just about everyone has tried it at some point this year. I personally was a little bit underwhelmed, but there's a couple of reasons, and I'm going to come on to that in a minute. I think what really catapulted this brand forward was it was named as Caroline Hyron's best in class when it comes to sunscreen, and she has a huge following, and I absolutely love her content, her blogs and her write-ups, which is really what piqued my interest in this brand personally. So I think the challenge with this brand is the price point versus what you're actually getting. So a 50ml of sunscreen is like £30. That is ridiculously expensive, and I don't like to overpay for my sun protection because I like to reapply and use the right amount, and I find I go through product quite quickly, so I like something that's pretty cheap and drugstore to allow me to do that. This isn't going to deliver any of that. And also, I think if you're watching this from the UK or anywhere in the European Union, you'll probably find that the formulations held within the ultraviolet range are pretty standard. We've had this style of formulation for years and years, so it's nothing that innovative and new that you can't just get at the drugstore. I think for territories that are experiencing this style of formulation for the first time, maybe, it's probably going to be quite groundbreaking. Really lightweight, they apply really nice, they have different finishes and textures on the skin to allow you to choose the right one for your skin type, and all that's really good, and I think they are really well formulated sunscreens. I just don't think you need to pay £30, upwards of $35, when there are more affordable options at the drugstore and on the market. So this was a little bit of an underwhelming pass for me, and I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10. Great if this is the only style of this sunscreen that you can actually access, you'll have a great experience with them. For a lot of people, especially here in Europe, you can rock up down to your drugstore, get the very similar formulation at a fraction of the cost. They're also very heavily fragranced, which personally didn't put me off, but I know that's something that a lot of people like to avoid in their sunscreens, so kind of bear that in mind. There's an awful lot of fragrance components in a lot of their sunscreens, so kind of just be aware aware of that. Now, a product that certainly went viral here in the UK is this. This is the PS Futures Bright Daily Defense Facial Moisturiser. So the media kind of picked up on this product and said that one was sold every 20 seconds, that Primark, the stockists of this product, was struggling to keep up with demand, there was a waiting list. I don't know how much of that was true or how much was actually just hype by the brand themselves, because brands have been known to do these things in the past. However, I do know a lot of people that pick this up, and at £4, kind of why not? So this product you might as well try for the price point. It's actually a really, really nice formulation. And you know earlier when I said actually read the amount of product that you're getting, the mils per product, because packaging can be a bit deceptive. So this is 50 mils, the exact same size as the roche-posay one, which I think looks absolutely mini, whereas this looks a lot more generous. So kind of pay attention to the actual amount that you're getting so you can work out the cost effectiveness versus the amount of product. This, super cheap, feels great on the skin. It is fragranced. It's got like a watermelon scent. It's supposed to be a really close dupe to the Glow Recipe Watermelon Niacinamide sunscreen that was honestly one of the biggest fails of this year. This feels really good. It's not the most lightweight on the skin. You kind of have to work it in a bit harder than you would some of the Korean sunscreens, but for £4, you can pick it up on the high street at Primark, throw it into your basket and get really good SPF 30 protection, which is also broad spectrum. It's got some really nice skincare ingredients here. You know what? It's just a really, really nice product. It's also packed full of antioxidants. So if you kind of want antioxidants, sun protection, a little light fragrance to your sunscreen, this is a really, really great option to go for, and I'm kind of glad this is going viral, because if you're looking to cut the cost of your sun protection, but you don't want to actually compromise on the benefits and the outcome, this could be a really great option for you. So I'm going to award that Primark product, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's not the most luxurious application, but for £4, can we really expect it to be? I don't think so, and I think, you know what, it's a beautiful, beautiful product. Now finally, let's talk the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella sunscreen. So this is one that was actually out of stock the whole year when I was trying to purchase it. I finally got a couple coming to me on order, but I have tried a couple of swatches and demos and some samples that I got of it. Such a lightweight and gorgeous, gorgeous product. So I'm not sure whether this got a lot of hype and got a lot of promotion because people genuinely loved it, or because of the amount of sponsorship that Skin 1004 did over the past 12 months. They've worked with a lot of influencers and content creators to do paid promotions, which has really increased people's awareness of this product. Does that mean it's bad? Absolutely not, but I think that could have contributed to some of the hype and the viral hit that it's actually become. All that aside though, it's a really nice product. Super lightweight, it's got some nice calming and soothing ingredients in it, so if you've got a very sensitive skin type, I think this can work for you. The reason I actually decided to put it on order is I saw a review of it by Glow by Ramon, one of my favourite content creators here on YouTube, and someone whose opinion on sunscreens I really, really trust. And I was like, okay, he sold me on it, I'm going to put it on order and try it, and I cannot wait to put it through its paces. Like I say, super lightweight, will work with almost all skin types, and I think, putting aside some of my slight cynicism around the amount of paid partnerships that this brand has done over the past year, I actually think this is a fantastic product in its own right. I'm going to give it like a 8 out of 10. So there you have it, guys, a rundown of the hottest sunscreens of 2022, those viral hits and sensations that we're probably all aware of, but how good were they actually? Well, most of them, thankfully, scored around an 8 or 9 out of 10, so I think the hype is definitely following the quality and the formulations. The only one that I've got doubts about is that ultraviolet sunscreen range. Again, just the price point didn't really match what I was looking for out of products. But if you've had a great experience with them, let me know in the comments section below. My true holy grail is this, the Beauty of Doesnt Rice Relief Sunscreen. I wanted to include this in the video, but I think a lot of the hype around this has probably come from this channel because I mention it in every video, so I decided against it. This would be a 10 out of 10 for me, no questions asked, as you guys already knew, and I covered my thoughts and feelings in a recent shorts video, which I'll link up there if you want to know more about this. Sign up in the comment section below with your thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.